Seeing as this is not just my first proper Doctor Who video, but also my first video essay and my first Doctor Who video essay, I wanted to do something special. I wanted to make an intro where like I act like I either just regenerated or landed here, and then I scan the camera, I go, what? Like David Tennant, and then I'd be like, oh look, a Doctor Who video essay. Alonzi. But the battery to my sonic screwdriver just died now. Yeah. Alonzi? Hi everyone, it's me, Scarlet Whovian, and I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who for sure is not just my favorite TV show, but my favorite fandom. However, there is no denying that Doctor Who really is in a bad spot, and in case you haven't seen the news, the show is basically cancelled.
Here's a history lesson. Doctor Who started all the way back in 1963 with William Hartnell as the first Doctor. Initially intended as an educational series where episodes in the past would teach kids at home about history and episodes in the future would teach science. It was however due to the popularity of the Daleks that the show pivoted and became the science fiction program that we all know and love to this day. The classic series ran from 1963 until its cancellation in 1989.
And a 1996 TV movie starring Paul McGann, which, in my opinion, is underrated and at worst, delicious garbage.
It was only in 2005 that writer Russell T Davies brought back the show and successfully revived it for modern audiences, leading to the show even peaking in popularity for the 50th anniversary in 2013. However, as they say, once you reach the ceiling, there's only one way to go: down. Like in the John Nathan Turner era, Doctor Who had a controversial run under showrunner Chris Chibnall. As easy as it is to bash Chibnall's episodes and Chibnall's era as a whole, he is not the subject of today's video. To summarize my feelings over the Chibnall era, he had interesting ideas on where to take the character. Because of the downgrade in the quality of writing, the show saw a very steady decline in ratings, and once Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker decided to leave the show, according to reports, the show was in a place where nobody wanted to take over. That was until Doctor Who's Lord and Savior, Russell T Davies, descended from the heavens and saved the show.
That's how we all thought it would go, but you already know.
Now, at this point, it's no surprise that the second coming of Russell T Davies wasn't the victory lap that we all expected. In fact, it was anything but that. RTD2, as the fandom calls this era, could be considered as the show's worst era. For modern Doctor Who, that is. Now, I could have easily made this video just an RTD bad type of video where I nitpick and tear apart every episode of the RTD2 era, which, believe me, I almost did. But before making this video, I decided to be nice and rewatch the entire RTD2 era from the 60th anniversary specials all the way to the 2026 Christmas special. Oh, right. Until Reality War then. In these series of videos, which I plan on doing, I want to look at each RTD2 episodes and seasons and give my thoughts on it. We will also go through the good, the bad, and the reality war of it all.
Originally, I did consider doing the Church on Ruby Road in this episode. However, I just decided to do that in the next video, should we do it, and instead first focus on the episodes with the 14th Doctor. especially since the Church on Ruby Road really is a Series 14 episode and not 60th Anniversary Special. And yes, I did call it Series 14. I am not calling it Season 1. I am not calling it Season 1. It is Series 14 and you know... Yes. We are going to talk about Destination Skaro. I'm not kidding.
I considered not including this, and I did kind of forget about this episode. But I think that once the series of videos is over, this mini episode is gonna be very important to the point that I will make at the end. If you wanna skip to the Star Beast, just skip to this time code, and if not, well, enjoy me yap about Destination Skaro. Destination Skaro is a children in need special that, well, it's meant to just be a comedy skit short for charity. Not much to say, to be honest. Now, in all honesty, I feel like it is unfair to compare this episode's plot and all to the other episodes we will be talking about, because this wasn't made with the intention of being an actual episode of Doctor Who, but it still has some of the issues I have with RTD2 as a whole, so let's go talk about it. The story follows the 14th Doctor, which we all know, played by David Tennant.
Or should I say, David 14th? Right?
As he crashes the TARDIS, destroying a cool arm for the Daleks and giving them a toilet plunger to answer the 60-year-old question of why the Daleks have a plunger for an arm. As said, it's just meant to be a short charity comedy skit, and I think it does its job for the most part. If I had to give it a down, let's just say, I would say that the humor personally didn't land for me. Like, I get it, I get the jokes, but it just wasn't funny for me. Like, haha, the doctor broke the arm. Haha, he replaced it with a toilet plunger. Honestly, it's also that I never really questioned why the Daleks had the plunger for an arm, but you know, nice to know, I guess. The episode, however, is famous or infamous because of the portrayal of Davros, particularly walking Davros. Now, as someone who, I'm sorry, hasn't seen Genesis of the Daleks yet, personally, this didn't bother me at all. I had the complete headcanon while watching this at first that this was a Davros before he obsessively experimented on himself and the Daleks, turning him into the monster that he was. Plus, as a cheap charity episode, I think it was fine and not worth ballooning the budget up just for a quick cameo. So to be perfectly honest, Davros in this episode didn't really bother me. That is until Russell T Davies decided to open his mouth. You see, in Doctor Who Unleashed, RTD revealed that the reason Davros was walking now wasn't because it was Davros in an earlier part of his life, but because...
And there's a problem with the Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who is evil. And I had problems with that, and a lot of us on the production team had the problems with that, of associating disability with evil. And trust me, there's a very long tradition of this. So we made the choice to bring back Davros without the facial scarring and without the wheelchair or his support unit, which functions as a wheelchair. I say, this is how we see Davros now. This is what he looks like. This is 2023. This is our lens. This is our eye. Things used to be in black and white. They're not in black and white anymore. And Davros used to look like that, and he looks like this now. And that we are absolutely standing by.
I'm gonna be honest, I think that's bullshit. Firstly, in pop culture, we've had disabled and wheelchaired characters who weren't villains and were actually heroes. I mean, Professor X from X-Men at the top of my head. And as good-fated as it was, I think RTD missed the point of Davros' disability. You see, to my understanding, at least, Davros' disability was meant to be a symbolism of how Davros more and more became more like the monsters he created, the Daleks, which stripped him of his humanity and made him who he is today. Davies' disability isn't because he was born or made evil, but because he chose to be. The same way Darth Vader being half robot isn't because he was evil, but because he lost his arms and legs when he felt that the dark side got mutilated by Obi-Wan Kenobi, aka Star Wars Space Jesus. Honestly, as I said earlier, had RTD not spoken about this future users are evil in pop culture bullshit, I wouldn't have minded. And to be honest, I don't really mind. Yes, it does take a poo-poo on Davros as a character and his characterization in Classic Who as well as his backstory. But honestly, it's just a dumb, stupid charity video. So let's move on.
I think the Star Beast is great. In fact, I think it's the best in the trilogy.
Okay, let me explain. The Star Beast was the first of 3 60th anniversary specials written by Russell T Davies and directed by my favorite director of all time, Rachel Talalay, as well as being based on a comic story from the 70s if not mistaken by Pat Mills and John Wagner about if Baby Yoda turned out to be a mass genocidal maniac.
Before we get into the episode, I just wanna tell a quick story where when it was announced that Doctor Who was coming to Disney Plus, and then Disney Plus was coming here to the Philippines, like the month after the announcement, we immediately got Disney Plus because I am a huge Marvel and Doctor Who fan, so I wanted to have my top 2 fandoms in the same streaming service. However, a year later, it turned out that the day that our Disney Plus subscription ended was actually gonna be the day that the Star Beast came out. And I wouldn't have been able to watch it live if my very good friend Churro did not send me a site where I could stream BBC One so I could watch it. So, Churro, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love you, sweetie.
So the episode starts with a
Oh, God. Oh, God. What is that? So, yeah. That is the first shot of RTD2. Nice.
So the episode starts with a previously on recap of Series 4, and my thoughts on this recap are pretty negative, and this is where it should have been clear to all of us that this era was fucked. You see, after Power of the Doctor aired, it was revealed that Disney Plus was gonna act as the international distributors for Doctor Who. At first, it seemed like it meant we were getting the Who-niverse on Disney Plus. So, Classic Who, New Who, Torchwood, Sergeant Adventures, and all the other spin-offs. I remember the day it was announced, and I spammed all of my friends telling them that Doctor Who was coming to Disney Plus internationally, so they had no excuse not to watch it. However, in 2023, before the specials aired, it was revealed that Disney Plus was gonna be the international distributors of episodes starting with The Star Beast, and that Ncuti Gatwa's first season would be called Season 1, not Series 14. Uh-oh. While this announcement did hurt and was questionable, I mean, why restart back to Season 1? Why and wouldn't calling it Season 1 just confuse new viewers? And also the fact that these specials were not included as part of the Doctor Who show page on Disney Plus, but rather as 3 separate movies, meant that new viewers probably didn't even know they had to watch these episodes when some of these are really important going forward, and like, what?
Oh, hey, I think you should watch Doctor Who.
Sure, why not? Where should I start?
I think Series 1 is a great place to start.
Series 1. What? I did understand the sentiment though, as Doctor Who was not a Disney franchise, so of course taking it on as an international distributor would be a risk, especially since admittedly Doctor Who isn't as popular as say Marvel or Star Wars, if you're not in the UK at least. To be honest, I'm also not sure how it is in the UK, like How popular is Doctor Who there? Like, how? But I did understand that telling new viewers to watch 13 seasons just for the new episodes could be a turn off. So I did understand the decision to go back to season 1 in a way. And Russell did say that the Disney era was meant to be a jumping on point for the series. Except that this previously on recap says the complete opposite, because it makes it clear that these specials are a direct continuation of the stories and characters and plot threads from a season that came out 15 years ago. And I really gotta imagine how jarring it must have been for people whose first episode was the Star Beast to see this previously on recap and realize I have to watch 4 seasons of Doctor Who that aren't even available on Disney Plus just to understand the furry episode. This really disproved Russell's intentions of making the Disney era a starting on point for the show. Although maybe he meant 15th era as the starting on point, so for now let's give him the benefit of the doubt and just get on with the episode. After the recap, we go into the new title sequence and I love it. When it first came out, I didn't like it because it felt too short, and although I still hold the sentiment now, I mean, they can just make it a bit longer for me. Oh, I must admit though, this intro did grow on me. Sometimes I just like to rewind the episode just so I could watch the intro over and over again. The actual episode starts with the Doctor landing and meeting with Donna Noble. Now, for those who forgot or decided to skip the previously on recap, which honestly I don't mind you, that first shot is really off-putting. The Doctor had to erase Donna's memories of her time in the TARDIS because after taking the mind of a Time Lord as part of the Meta Crisis, the Time Lord power would cook her mind and kill her. Now, personally, I like that this episode does make this a part of the plot, since it does, in a way, raise the stakes and doesn't immediately reverse it at the start, and instead lets the story really take its time to explore who Donna is without those memories and how it still subconsciously affected her. And it overall, in my opinion, makes the ending feel more earned, where Donna is able to live and get her memories back, but we'll get back to that. The Doctor then also meets Donna's daughter Rose, who we all know is a transgender character. Then a spaceship crashes and the Doctor goes to investigate. While that happens, there is a nice scene in the Noble house, which I really love. Donna and Sylvia's conversation about Rose just feels natural, and it does tackle social issues in a way that feels naturally part of the story and not shoved down our throats. I like that Sylvia admits to making mistakes sometimes when talking to Rose, since it makes her more human and shows she is trying. And overall, I just love this scene. I'm a sucker for a small character moment, so yeah, I love it. And I love that we get time to catch up with Donna and Sylvia after the events of Series 4. But then, while Rose takes out the garbage, she finds Meep the Meep, or in this episode, just the Meep. And the Meep is so adorable. However, the warriors attack the Noble residence to try to capture the Meep. So the Doctor saves them, but notices something is wrong. Now, pause. In regards to the action in the Noble's house, it's great. I really enjoyed it. And personally, that was the most excited and adrenaline pumped I've felt watching a Doctor Who episode since the Capaldi era. And I just personally love that in this scene, the Doctor isn't fighting anyone. Rather, he is saving people, saving the Meep, saving Donna and her family. My one gripe though with this scene is that now the Sonic could do this. Now, to be honest, I had no problems with the Sonic changing in between power of the Doctor and the Star Beast. I know that the Sonic broke during a comic story where 14 fought the Daleks or something, but this is kind of a stretch. I didn't mind when in that scene with Shirley, the doctor used it and made a hologram screen with the Sonic, because it was in my personal head canon that this is how the doctor sees it in his point of view, that this is what it looks like when he's taking a reading and reading it off the Sonic. But seeing him just make force fields makes the Sonic too OP.
It's also disappointing because it can do it. Like, see? Nothing. And also this Sonic runs out of battery.
My thoughts then were that as long as the force field thing was just a one-time thing for the 60th, then it's fine. But my opinions and feelings over this sentiment has changed. It just felt wrong that the Doctor had this power but never used it, and never again since. Plus, I think it would have been more engaging and interesting to see the Doctor find a way to divert the fire or distract the brainwashed unit soldiers and warriors to find their escape, but that's just me. It is then revealed in the most obvious twist since the Doctor being the timeless child that the Meep is actually evil. Not gonna lie, I do like the execution of the twist. I just really like how the shift from cute good Meep to bad evil Meep is done by a change in the eyes and the showing of its teeth. It's just cool.
Also, when I did make one of my very good friends, Jas, who has never watched Doctor Who in her life and had zero prior knowledge to the show, when I did make her watch this episode for the first time, she did not see the twist coming. So, genuinely, kudos. Unless she's dumb.
Can't win 'em all.
So the Doctor and the nobles are then brought to the Meep space where this is where I start scratching my head, because why did the Meep keep the Doctor and Donna and her family alive if they were just going to bring them to another place and kill them? And also, how did Shirley not get caught by the brainwashed soldiers if the place was filled with them? I don't know. Also, oh yeah, a new unit character here, Shirley, who, as much as I love her, could have easily just been Osgood. Let's be honest, Osgood is better than Shirley. No dissing on you, Root Madley, you are amazing, but yeah, it could have just been Osgood. Shirley helps free them, and Donna goes help the Doctor, and he is put in a position where he has to return Donna's memories to save the day. I won't nitpick about the fact that the Doctor and Donna waste time by moping and crying, because I'm gonna be honest, David Tennant and Catherine Tate's acting are just so perfect and Oscar worthy that I actually do cry whenever I watch the scene.
Just no.
No, you are not! Why does it have to be this?
Entering final sequence.
Then Donna becomes the Winter Soldier.
Westerly, Pelican, Dreams, Tornado, Cliff Tops, Andante, Grief, Fingerprint, Susurration, Sparrow, Dance, Mexico.
Я готов отвечать.
Mission report. December 16, 1991.
So Donna explodes and saves the day, but she dies. Except she doesn't, because it turns out the meta crisis passed down to her daughter Rose. Now, this is the part people have issues with, and all honesty, not me. I like the idea of the meta crisis passing down to Rose, as it was something that I did wonder if it would happen prior to the episode coming out, and I just like the line.
We are binary.
She's not, because the Doctor's
Male.
and female.
And neither.
Because, yeah, the Doctor technically is. However, the one thing that does bring the episode down for me is
We've still got to fix you two, because the meta crisis might have slowed down, but that thing is wrapped around your cortex.
Yes, we know. We know everything. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood. We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Oh, now I understand where Russell was coming from with this, and I'm not gonna go down the woke is bad route, but this line just doesn't work for me because of the fact the doctor was just a woman like a few minutes ago. So like, in the years they were the 13th Doctor, why didn't the 13th Doctor ever go to Donna and fix her? Especially since the meta crisis does imply that Donna knows everything the Doctor knows. So if Donna knew it, then the Doctor knew it, and you get the point. Overall, I think that although it does remove the emotional punch of Donna's series 4 exit, or at least a big chunk of it, I do like that Donna now got a happy ending, and the scene for me is just beautiful. And as someone who did watch the Chibnall era, this scene did give me a lot of dopamine in a way that the Chibnall era hadn't, and it did feel like the Doctor who I knew and loved.
Like I said, mate, how lucky am I?
After all these years, I'm finally me.
Back when the episode came out, I absolutely loved and adored it, and now I still do. I know it's popular to hate on this episode, but I love it. I loved it then because it was a breath of fresh air from the Chibnall era, and as much as he is just a clone of the 10th Doctor, David Tennant was so much fun to watch as the 14th Doctor, and it was just nice to see him and Catherine date back together.
When I said I meant this was the best in the trilogy, I meant I feel like this is the best as an anniversary special. You see, I feel like this is the only episode where they actually celebrated the show's history. I mean, that it's a really small thing, but that scene where they had the Toys of Rose be revealed to actually be the monsters that the Doctor has faced. In these specials, that feels like the only time that they had actually paid homage to the show as a whole by showing the different monsters, and like they did it in a way that felt like it had a purpose in the story, and it wasn't put there just because it's an anniversary special, we need to add these types of references. No, this actually did feel like it was celebrating the show's history. And with that, I give Doctor Who The Star Beast an 8 out of 10. It's fun. It's impossible for me to hate this episode. I don't care. Go ahead, hate it. And off we go. Went to the
So if you're watching this on the original release date of the video, it actually is the birthday of my best friend Churro. So Churro, if you're watching this, I really hope you are. Happy birthday, Churro! Happy birthday. I hope you have a good one. Happy birthday. Mwah.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Churro!